So
I mean,
something to look at.
Is the gum too much, or should I take the gum out? Tell me.
Wait, like you're chewing gum?
Yeah.
Boy, if you don't spit that gum out of your mouth, what do you think we are?
You're right.
Like, are we, you think of the Joe Budden podcast? You better spit that out. We're professionals.
You're right. That's what they always say on the breakfast school. Whenever they're chewing gum, Angelique's like, spit the gum out right now.
Angelique is like their mom. Like the mom of the
I don't think
show.
Prince Charlemagne.
Angelique's good, y'all. People talk shit, but she's good.
She needs to be there.
Yeah, she has to be there. What's better, Hot 97 or Breakfast Club? I think Breakfast Club is more.
Like Breakfast Club is but like I DJ Envy and Ebro and Peter Rosenberg just don't have as good of a chemistry, in my opinion, as Charlemagne and DJ Envy.
Oh, I disagree.
I feel like
Charlemagne's like a bigger
like
clown, though. He's more entertaining.
Oh, that's
okay.
true.
See, to me, it's like Hot 97's Charlemagne is Ebro, in my opinion. Even though they're doing
Wait, no, I feel like if you do the comparison, it would be Hot 97. Ebro has his moments. I feel like it'd be Rosenberg.
No, but I feel like but Ebro is the one who's like, I think he's the one that like makes the show though, in my opinion.
I feel like just because of the fact that Ebro didn't used to be Rosenberg, to me, when I think of Hot 97, I think of Rosenberg because he's been there longer. Like Ebro used to be a producer.
Really?
Ebro was a producer and wasn't always on I know this because this was in one of the seasons of Love and Hip Hop. Funny enough. Yeah. Ebro didn't used to be on front of the camera. He used to be behind the camera.
Yeah, they used to be Hot 97 used to be on Love and Hip Hop all the time.
Yeah, I don't remember why though, because I don't remember which of them was a cast member. I think Ebro was a cast member.
You know, and remember when Consequence and Joe Budden got in a fight?
Oh yeah. It's crazy how much I like Joe Budden now, and it's sick. I still think he's a psychopath though. So anyway, okay, we can. Whenever y'all are ready, we can hop in.
Have you started?
Yeah, we've been recording.
Oh, see, look, I like it when you do that because then when we have like natural elements, you know.
Natural elements.
The flow's not interrupted.
I agree.
But okay, let's jump into it. What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the 97 Demo Podcast. A lot has happened this week. Protests, all that stuff is still going on. And of course, we'll touch on some of the contributions that have happened there. And then in music in general, if you guys remember, we talked about this last week, but a lot of artists delayed with their releases or labels just didn't put that thumb in music. So as far as volume, it wasn't a huge week. But the Grammys announced a whole bunch of rule changes that I do think are going to be important and have impacts that will last. So before we get into it, how y'all doing? What's been going on?
Good, man.
Been good, man. Chilling. Things have slowed down, but I'm out here in Atlanta. It's still popping out here. Last night was crazy. That picture of the Wendy's. Yeah. Wendy's burnt down. They burnt down Wendy's.
Did they burn down the Wendy's where it happened, like that incident? Where the incident took place?
I don't know.
Was it the same Wendy's?
I think so. I think that's the same one. And I saw this fire picture on New York Times of that Wendy's. That picture is crazy. But yeah, I've been good though. It's been good. It's been chill. Still quarantining. People forget we quarantining, but it's still real.
Oh, people definitely forgetting we're quarantining. Have you well, y'all are in the South where you're allowed to move freely. Have y'all gone anywhere? Where have y'all been?
I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'll be in Chicago next week though.
You just get a haircut, go back inside. Just call it a day.
That's what I did. I just got a haircut and then I stayed inside. So
there we go.
Exciting.
What you, buddy?
Much slower week this week than the past couple.
Look, y'all know where I am. I'm up north. I'm still locked inside. Like we don't have the freedoms. That y'all have.
That's true.
But for good cause though, because coronavirus is very much still a thing. I mean, we just start getting a little bit more serious about that again. But anyway, back to the music. What we're here for. Let's jump into what's gonna end up being last week's charts by the time this comes out. I think it ended up being what we expected. There wasn't any big surprises on the Hot 100. This actually is surprising because we got this wrong. When
I called Megan Thee Stallion was gonna be number one again. She's 2.
Yeah.
She didn't. I don't think she moved. But
no, she stayed. Yeah.
Yeah, she stayed though.
Yeah, and I remember the big thing was. Remember, this week was a low volume week because of Blackout Tuesday, and a lot of artists said we're not going to push out new music. So I figured it was going to be maybe things were going to stay still. I thought the Lady Gaga song was going to stay at number 1.
Yeah.
It's really wrong because it's at number 5. But as you see here, Rockstar, the baby Roddy Ricch finally rises to that top spot.
I think Lady Gaga dropped because the song isn't that good anyway.
Ooh, hot take from Noah.
Avery,
Avery, have you listened to it?
I have once.
Exactly. I mean, it's not a bad song, but it's Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande, two pop artists.
I'm a fan of both of them, and I listened. I was like, "Oh, cool." And then
I like the song.
Cool.
I was with it.
Yeah, you know, the song's okay, but it's not necessarily like super, super catchy that like I'm not surprised about.
The songs that have stuck at the top of the Hot 100 have really stuck.
Yeah.
Like you know, Savage has been out for a while, Blinding Lights has been out for a while, Say So's been on there for a while. So like, it's really the same.
The top four, especially though, like I feel like that's been consistent the last 3 weeks. They've been like switching between, you know, and the fifth one's been switching out. But
yeah.
Honestly, this top 10 has not changed that much in the past few weeks.
Yeah.
At all.
Other than
Roses
Lady
there?
Gaga and Ariana Grande coming out.
No, if you want to go, so Roses by St. John, that rose a little bit because that's finally getting top 10, and I believe that's one either is first or second.
Yeah, that rose a little bit, so that wasn't there a couple weeks ago, but yeah.
And even if you go down to 20, it's still no big surprises. Blueberry Faygo that's at number 15. That's up one, but that was I believe that's another big TikTok song.
Yeah.
Stuck With You falling a little bit, but at least stably falling. It's not one of those like number 2 1 week, then 76 the next. And then see, I'm not familiar with as many of these other, like, I guess I'm assuming pop songs. Like I Hope, Sunday's Best, Falling. Have y'all listened to those?
No.
I'm not sure who Morgan Wallen or Gabby Barrett are, or Surfaces.
You know, we did it for Polo G, so we have to do it for them too. We have to go back and listen. It's only right.
We did it for Polo G?
I listened to Polo G. I listened to the song.
I haven't. The Scots is still dropping. Look at that. Go down. Scots is still dropping.
Are they coming out with an album? Do you guys think they're coming out with an
I
album?
feel like it's probably a one-off.
I think it's a one-off. I don't think they're doing an album. But I don't think it's any major surprise to change, especially in the top end of the chart. But
this obviously came up because of that whole Jack Harlow. You know, remember Twitter discovered he was white last week.
He's white. I was like, why people? Okay, first of all, in the song he said, "What's Joshua?" What black guy says, "What's Joshua?" Like, come on.
Did you see his tweet? He like
that should have given it all away.
I should have gave it all away.
He posted all his album covers, and they're all pictures of him. He's like, I've been trying to tell y'all for years now.
He's straight. He's straight though.
Hey, so what do you guys?
What's Poppin's a good song.
It is a good song. I do like that song. So top 20 looks pretty much the same. Top 10 looks like it's pretty much stood in place. And the top 5 is not surprising. What do you think is happening next week? Again, there wasn't a ton of releases. I don't anticipating changing a lot, but at least this week when the chart updates on Tuesday, what do you think you'll see?
I don't think that much turnover. I mean, honestly, it's kind of hard to guess because it's going to be like these top 3 switching in and out. The Blinding Lights might just come up again. I don't know. Like, who knows, honestly. Doja Cat might bump back up and be like, actually, I like this song. Because Doja Cat kind of, her heat has died down
a little bit, yeah.
So, I don't know.
I think Rockstar might stay at number 1, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Maybe it's leading on streaming, and it has been for a while now. So
I'm sorry to touch on Rockstar, so I don't even know, but yeah.
All right, so I guess over on the Billboard 200, it also wasn't surprising at all. Lady Gaga came in at number 1. Not surprising. It was highly anticipated.
Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, Jimmy Buffett came in at number 2.
You guys know some Jimmy Buffett songs, right?
Jimmy Buffett been in the game. He's been in the game for
a second, hold on.
Now.
Oh, we talked about it last week, right? The old guy.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I ain't let her sing.
No, you have Margaritaville. He owns like all those Margaritavilles around like and stuff too.
Interesting.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's what's up. It's dope to see. Look at that. Look this top 5 interesting. Lady Gaga, Jimmy Buffett, and then like 3 of the same, not the same rapper.
Well, I think what this top 5 and even top 10 shows you is the fact that rap pretty much still dominates right now. Pop is more so the exception. So Lady Gaga, you're Lady Gaga. Of course, you're going to get your number 1 album. I don't want to say off your name, but you have that. We've seen that before, you know. Yeah. But the fact that number 3 through let's go down to top 10.
8, 9, 10.
8, 9, 10. I know the Baby Run the Jewels. Yeah.
Who is?
It's basically a R&B, not R&B, a rap top 10. So I think pop typically just ends up being when there's a big debut, you're gonna see it. Even Jimmy Buffett, when there's a big name, big debut, it's gonna get up there. But rap is still dominating.
Anuel, I don't know how to say it. He's a Puerto Rican rapper.
Anuel, I think, yeah.
Oh.
Puerto Rican rapper.
So Run the Jewels, RTJ4. So you guys, we got this wrong last week. Remember, and I know you pointed this out. I thought they weren't even going to show up this week because they were supposed to drop on Friday. But remember, they dropped early on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So I believe it was like they only were eligible for, I think, 2 or 3 days of streaming tracking and still managed to debut at number 10 off of this. Which is I wish, I don't know if this is going to happen because when they dropped it, but I wish I can get a full week of sales because they sold 36 in like 36,000 like 38 hours. You only imagine what they would have been able to do if they. And then they started selling their album for free. But I do think people are still going to stream it. Yeah, and one thing I'll say about Killer Mike and LP, and I guess this is the benefit of having 2 vets jump on a project together, is I doubt they really care about numbers. They wouldn't be giving their album away for free if they did, you know. So I'm sure this means nothing to them, but it's still a feat.
It's still dope though that they
should go up next week, right?
I don't think anything like huge. I don't know. I mean, nothing huge is coming out, and I think it's still a lot of people are still going to stream it. So I hope
with everything going on right now, and Killer Mike is still out here.
Still out here.
Might, still getting his name out there. So
still active.
Yeah, for sure.
Still active. So
do you guys want to take a guess at which of the top 3 albums is going to be number 1 next week? I have it here. Just want to see if you guys will.
Watch Jimmy Buffett pop up. I'm telling you, he might be number 1, bro. Because I mean, I don't recognize his music like that, but
I think he's more of a the previous generations may recognize him a little bit more. He may not be for our age group, but I think that is worthwhile because this is not his first. He's been around for a while and he's still coming in at number 2.
There's 2 things. There's 2 things. More people, since like it might be an older, like his audience is more of an older generation. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. They might buy the album, which could help him. Yeah. But then since he's older, I don't know if younger generation
probably not going to be streamed. Probably not going to get that much radio. Exactly. So I don't.
But hey, I'm gonna go with Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
I'm gonna go with my guy.
Avery, give it. You're wrong, but Avery, give me your.
Oh, actually, no. Take it back. Lil Baby.
Avery, what do you think?
Lil Baby.
I was gonna go with Lil Baby.
Okay, so yeah, Lil Baby's is gonna come back to number 1, and it's really impressive. And I'll tell you after. But he's coming back to number 1, 65,000 units. Then Lady Gaga's dropping to number 2. Gunna's gonna stay at number 3. Future is staying at number 4 with High Off Life. Drake,
number 5.
Dark Lane Demo Tapes, The Baby, Limit on Baby. Polo G, Post Malone, Lil Uzi, and The Weeknd rounding out the top 10. So I want to go back to Lil Baby for a second. So he was number 1 when he debuted. He's returning to number 1 after 13 weeks. So the interesting stat there is that's the longest gap between runs of a number 1. So when you last had it and the next time you have it, well, not ever, but since Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper with Shallow. I'm sorry, A Star Is Born. And that's 17 weeks. So this interesting little stat there between especially since 1 and 2 are going to be sharing.
I'm surprised that Chloe and Halle isn't coming up. Is that next week?
That's going to be on next week's chart, yeah.
Okay. So I expect her, and also something else before we move on for the charts. I expect that Tekashi 6ix9ine to be on there.
The troll song.
Yeah, I don't necessarily. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that, but he's a hot topic whether we like it or not. His name rings a lot of bells, so we don't have to discuss him. But I feel like he's going to be on the Hot 100
next week. Yeah,
exactly. That's a Lil Baby too for the music video and the song that he came out with.
Yeah, I could see honestly the 2 of them, Lil Baby and Tekashi, probably getting for sure top 10, maybe top 5.
Yeah. What about top streaming songs? I think there's not much. I think it's pretty much what you expect too.
Yeah, I think you can pretty much say the same. Probably The Baby, Megan, Rain on Me. I don't think it's gonna be too different from what we think.
There you go.
It's that Billboard Pro subscription.
Yeah, exactly. Go down. There you go. Go down. There you go. There you go. But yeah, The Baby up there. That's purely TikTok. Now,
you ain't logged in. The people thinking we don't got no Billboard.
Look at you, man.
But it's what we suspect, right?
Yeah, it's The Baby, Megan, Lady Gaga, Drake with Tootsie Slide and Roddy Ricch. So,
it bothers me that Tootsie Slide is a song that's still sticking when I do think there's better songs on Dark Lane Demo Tapes.
TikTok.
But I do want to go to this other chart, the protest and social justice songs, and then we can move on from charts. I don't want to stay around here too long, but they put out a pretty interesting stat to say just this lyric find, which looks at lyrics that are being searched found that the top tracks are all like protest, social justice related.
Yeah.
So I think number one. Well, hold on, I think I have the chart up. But number one,
For What It's Worth, by
artists you probably aren't gonna. You may not recognize completely.
It says Buffalo Springfield's For What It's Worth.
Yeah, that's number one. And then here we go. And then number two, Michael Jackson was in top 5. He apparently was last week, but he isn't anymore. But it was a Dare Dance, System of a Down, Get Together, the Youngbloods. They Don't Care About Us. Okay, excuse me, he was Michael Jackson. I just thought that was interesting. Burning and Looting by the Wailers was number 5. And it's interesting to me because that's the lyrics that people are searching. So it's like, I don't know. I just thought that was like a really interesting little fact. And it also shows you that Billboard keeps a chart for everything. Like,
everything.
Dang, once you subscribe, they have all these charts.
Technology, man. Yeah, that is
as a rock fan, it makes me kind of happy that System of Down kind of backing people.
Yeah, come on, give us that input, rock correspondent.
Do you listen to Buffalo Springfield? Have you heard of them?
I don't know, but System of a Down, this album specifically that Dear Dance is from, Toxicity, is like an all-time. To me, it's like an all-time album. It's incredible.
All time.
It's fantastic.
Like best album ever?
No, it's just like a really great album. It's a really great album.
Okay.
Really fun, like hard rock album. It's obviously pretty political. The song Chop Suey, everyone knows. So.
I'm mad that Public Enemy ain't on there at all. I'm surprised.
Those lyrics.
It's pretty interesting. None of these are like hip hop.
Bro, why?
And that's why I wondered if that had to do with something with the fact that this chart is based off what people are searching. You know,
but like people aren't searching "Fight the Power." I mean,
why isn't a specific like NWA song coming in?
Why is it, bro? Yeah. Why is it F the Police coming up? Like, exactly. I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of disappointed.
I wonder if it's further down on the chart. Maybe we just don't see it, but I definitely would have expected that to be at the top somewhere.
That definitely follow up this next week to see if it changes at all.
It gotta be out there.
And then you guys, before we escape charts completely, I want to give a shout out to Rosalia.
Yeah,
and Tierra.
Love her.
And Tierra Whack. I like both of those artists.
Y'all know
I love Tierra Whack.
Tierra Whack is dope.
But they both debuted on the Hot 100 for the first time this week. Yeah, so.
Rosalia's TKN.
Yeah, Rosalia's was 2KN, I believe she has a Travis Scott.
Yeah.
And then Tierra Whack was a TD.
Tierra Whack, her real name is actually Whack. That's not a name. That's her real name. Her last name's Whack for real. This is what it's thought out there. She's like, my real name's Tierra Whack.
Rosalia is making the best music videos in the game right now.
Ooh, okay,
Rosalia.
Stand on it. Avery says no one's making music like Rosalia right now.
Okay. No one's making better music videos than Rosalia.
Okay.
I'm for that up.
I'm joking.
I'm just saying.
I'm joking.
Yeah. Okay, so this week with our headlines, there was, I guess, what we always want to touch on are the headlines that are relevant to the current events that have been going on. So last week we had Blackout Tuesday, and a lot of, I know, different music platforms either had their own Blackout Tuesday playlist, or I know Apple had they made one of their radio shows only play songs from Black artists. But I thought this was really interesting. So Spotify's Black Lives Matter playlist subscriber count grew by 1,000% on Blackout Tuesday. Now, first, let's say I imagine that probably prior to this, not that many people would be listening to the Black Lives Matter playlist all the time.
Yeah.
But still, the fact that it grew 1,000%, it says that it ranked up nearly 6 million users, and its follower count jumped over 2 days from 40 to 450,000. So, and as of now, it has more than 800,000 subscribers. So that's
look at the tracks on it. You got James Brown, you got Kendrick. All Right had to be on there. Jill Scott.
Yeah.
Song of the Revolution. All Right is the song of the decade.
Exactly.
And then what's really interesting, so if you read about how the chart even came to fruition, it was after other events of unrest and just other like, unfortunate deaths of unarmed Black people. This one points to after Sandra Bland. One of the Spotify heads, head of R&B and soul, came together with the staff, and they were just all angry, and they just started yelling out song names, and that's how this playlist was born. And I just think that's really
actually cool. That's pretty cool though.
I feel like music is a healing mechanism and has that power to it. So I think it's cool that it literally was born out of that.
I got you in this, but some of the songs they're yelling out, the fact that
song are you yelling? Yeah, what are you yelling out if you're in this meeting?
Fight the Power, Public Enemy, bro. Literally, I think about I think about Spike Lee's movie, and he's like, bro, why is that song not popping up nowhere? That song should be freaking, like, I'm so surprised. That NWA, I'm surprised that song hasn't popped up.
I know, NWA for sure is one that sticks out to me that's not on anything.
It's not on, I haven't seen anything really.
You know, I know this one's way newer, but I wonder if Freedom's on there. Beyonce, Kendrick Lamar. That's like a good song for that playlist, right?
Maybe.
That's a good one.
That's a good one, though.
Honestly, anything from To Pimp a Butterfly could be on here.
That's true.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Black of the Berry, All Right. And like,
that entire album. And it's crazy how timely and so current that album feels. And it came out, I believe, like, what,
5 years ago. 5 years ago.
I know.
2015.
And then in some other things that have happened this week, there's some people who, I thought this was interesting because people who I think are literally putting their money where their mouth is and actually doing direct work to help people now. Halsey was the first person I saw do this, but apparently YouTube did this as well. They created funds basically to help Black creators. So with Halsey, I guess Black musicians, I don't know if they're specifying it, but with YouTube, $100 million to fund Black creators. And I like this a lot because it's sort of a direct way to say, okay, what can we do now? You know, to give the Black community a voice.
Yeah.
Provide more opportunities, provide a platform. You know?
Yeah, there's kind of a similar, not the same way, but you know how a couple weeks ago, I think Lady Gaga gave her whole Instagram to like.
Yeah, which is a thing now. A ton of people. I saw some collage of a whole bunch of people who were doing that now. And
this is everybody doesn't have to do that, and it's kind of cool to see Halsey, she has it says her dad's African American, so it's dope to see that that she's doing not the exact same. I mean, I want to see everybody doing the exact same thing. It's cool she's doing it in her own different way.
Yeah,
artists in her own different way. So that's dope.
I hope like other platforms can kind of use this as a jumping off point to do similar things. Like, I would love to see something like TikTok do this because they've faced a lot of backlash in the past couple of weeks with how they treated different hashtags related to the protests and Floyd and things like that. And their platform is one that's definitely benefited from Black culture and Black creators.
Absolutely.
So I think seeing them do something similar to this would, one, do a lot for their brand personally, and also two, like, show that they're investing in their community.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to seeing the specifics of how they're going to do this. I can only imagine a ton of people are going to at least hope to pursue that. So I'm always big on, let's see, okay, you've announced this, what is it going to look like? Because it's very easy for people to say, oh, this looks pretty now. And when we get to the nitty gritty, all of a sudden, so I look forward to seeing what this looks like and seeing it in action.
Yeah, just seeing new people do new things. So yeah, that's a dope post.
Yeah, that is
dope post to do, actually. Good job, whoever team is.
Yeah, and good shout out to YouTube for doing it too.
Yeah, exactly. That's dope. Yeah.
So this next one, a follow-up of something we did last week, and y'all know, so I enjoy the business element of this sometimes, so I'd like to incorporate that into this little podcast show.
Me and Avery will step back.
But we talked about this last week. Warner Music Group filing for an IPO, becoming a public company. And I said last week, I'm interested to see what this is going to look like because you're going to have different stakeholders, and they're going to be people. There's now an extra layer of people you have to consider when you're thinking about how you're making money and just how you're doing things, and it adds another complexity to a very, very complex system.
Yeah.
So in this, Tencent, which is a music group streaming platform based in China, I believe the specific number is $200 million for shares of Warner Music Group.
That just shows how broke they are, guys. But
I know, right?
But yeah, that is interesting though, since they just went public and
Yeah, but that's not even what's interesting to me now is, and I didn't know this until I read this article. So Tencent, which again, a Chinese music platform and streaming company, now owns 10% of both Warner Music Group and Universal Music Group. And if you remember what we said last week, all of these little labels and imprint boil down to three major companies.
Yeah.
Universal, Warner, Sony. So it's just interesting now that this company owns 10% of two of the three biggest platforms. I have a question
for you.
Oh, I hope I can answer it.
Well, I don't know much about this stuff, so I hope you can give some answer. But in the film industry, a lot of interests now are driven by Chinese companies and catering to a Chinese audience because that's where they can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
To signal some sort of similar shift in the music industry.
Well, yeah, I think so. And actually, this article points that out, that one thing this can do, because Tencent is based in China and they have a streaming platform, this partnership could actually be good for Warner and Universal in the sense that they now have access to this huge,
other audience,
fastly growing audience. Yeah, people who love music. And I just even wonder, even beyond that, are we going to see more artists under those two companies tour, have Asia tours and tour in China and just have more interaction with that community and market because they now have a shareholder base there that owns 10% of the company. You know?
That is interesting. That is interesting to point out. I don't know the logistics behind that, but that is an interesting point. So.
Yeah. So very interesting to keep an eye on and see, I guess, where that goes.
Who else buys stock in that?
Who else buys stock? You know.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So y'all, next week another versus Alicia Keys.
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
I think they cooled off a little. Well, there was the gospel one that I tuned into with I'm horrible because I can't remember. It was Kirk Franklin,
another guy.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that. No, we're gonna have to. We have to Google that at some point and get back and give props because we cannot say Kirk Franklin to the other guy. But Kirk Franklin to the other guy. It's
kind of now. The date is weird. I feel like it doesn't have to be on Juneteenth, but that's whatever. Juneteenth, I feel like could be. I feel like they're gonna pick any other Friday up to Juneteenth, but it's still fine.
Yeah.
Obviously, very intentional that they're doing it on that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. It's cool though. But
I can see it for both of those artists. I think it kind of makes sense.
You know what's interesting? Even though one's a man, one's a woman, like their music lane is kind of similar though. But
that's why it makes sense. You know, I love seeing these versus battles that make sense because some of them I'm kind of confused about, but for the most part, I think they made sense. And this is a matchup that I think, you know, John Legend and Alicia Keys both in the same lane. You know, these songwriters play the piano super well. Now,
they both play the piano.
Yeah. Now, do I think Alicia Keys is about a wash?
Now, let's say this. Now, let's say this though. These verses are I do think Alicia Keys, like, she has the catalog to beat John Legend. But also, you know, these verses have shown that it's how prepared they come. So, like Nelly, we thought Nelly was gonna wash Ludacris, but Nelly was kind of unprepared. His Wi-Fi was out, and it just ruined the whole experience.
Yeah, that matters. Technology matters.
I'm saying that, but if John Legend comes and it's about like what track you play first, you know, how your order. So if John Legend comes correct, I think Alicia Keys will come correct because, you know, Swiss Beats. Isn't Swiss Beats one of the
Swiss Beats is running. Alicia Keys is about to have the best Wi-Fi we've seen, the best camera quality we've seen.
I think Swiss Beats' brother is the one who runs first. I think.
Oh, really?
I think so. So I think Alicia Keys is going to come correct. But John Legend, I can't wait to see his wife's commentary on Twitter. So.
You know, Chrissy Teigen's gonna be in there.
You about to get
that's gonna be good.
Yeah.
So for me, these verses, like in the grand scheme of all of this, they have a very similar vibe to me as the lip sync battles that Jimmy Fallon used to do.
Yeah.
And those turned into their own TV show.
Yeah.
You guys see something like this turning into its own
y'all, I have no doubt they're gonna keep verses rolling. I have no doubt they're gonna keep verses rolling in the foreseeable future. Because my thing is,
kind of like two of the biggest names they've had so far. Yeah.
I don't know. I think Nelly and Ludacris was still kind of up there.
The past two large ones they've had are like pretty significant artists.
And just so we don't forget to do this, the guy with Kirk Franklin was Fred Hammond.
Fred Hammond!
Oh, God. We need respect for his due. Just so we can make sure we do that.
Hey, actually, I'm not joking. I have Fred Hammond albums on my phone, so don't play with me. I just didn't know who he was with, but I got Fred. Don't play with me. I come correct. You know. I'm just saying.
Don't play with him.
It's Sunday. Don't play with me, bro. But yeah, I think Alicia Keys watching them though.
Hey, so if we say watch them, what do we think? So if they do 20 songs, how do you think it's gonna go?
The score?
Yeah.
I'll say
yes.
12-8.
12-8. I was gonna say 14-6.
That close?
I was gonna say 15-5. So I think John Legend has at least 5 songs that are kind of like okay, you know, you got it.
I'll go 13-7.
Because when Ordinary People comes on, I'm not sure what Alicia Keys can play.
You mean John Legend?
No, I'm saying if John Legend plays Ordinary People.
Oh yeah.
With All of Me, with
I thought we said Ordinary People. I thought you meant like, your regular day.
Ooh, wait, but if John Legend plays Ordinary People and Alicia Keys comes back and plays Fallen.
Or what if she plays Unthinkable? Or what if they do features? What if she does New York State of Mind?
They've been doing features.
What if they do? What if they do New York State of Mind? It's a wrap.
That's a win. That's a
dub. But I do think he has all. I don't think there's anything he can play against All of Me. Ordinary People. I think those 2 songs.
What if she does Girl on Fire with All of Me though?
See, Alicia Keys got that catalog.
That's what I'm saying. You got a lot. So. John Legend, respectable. He's a great artist, great singer, but I think Alicia Keys got it wrapped up.
Yeah, so Avery has to write this down so for next week when we come back, we don't forget.
Take tally of everything.
Okay, so
I have it written down.
This next one, a little bit of a more somber mood, but I wanted to acknowledge because I read it, and I just thought for what we do, we should always, journalists often don't get highlighted, and I feel like, this is just something that we should talk about, especially considering, again, hip-hop pioneer journal, so Robert Ford, I believe his nickname was Rocky, has passed away. He's very prominent for a variety of reasons, but one thing I want to highlight, he was the first person to write about hip hop, which at the time, I believe this was the 70s, is still like a very much so an emerging genre and a major publication in Billboard. And he was kind of the first to do it. So I think that's worth shouting out, especially considering we are three journalists trying to do this thing and talk about music and hip hop. So give props for its due,
Yeah, that's dope to see. I kind of wish I knew about him earlier because I didn't even know about the guy. I'm not gonna lie. So
yeah,
I kind of want to go back and read some of his stuff now in general. But I mean, it's dope to see.
We're in a very. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's cool to see somebody kind of trailblazing the way. The fact that hip hop wasn't a respected, genre. It wasn't taken seriously. Now it's one of the most popular in the world. So.
Yeah,
I think it's really cool. Like, we're in a really thankless industry a lot of the times, and so especially when something as prominent as hip hop journalism is now, in some ways, like the Breakfast Club can be considered that, or Hot 97, things like that. Like, it's evolved in so many ways. Yeah. To kind of see where it began.
I mean, Double XL magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
seeing where it came from is really, really interesting. I think.
I agree. Yeah, that's interesting though, but sad.
So guys, now for what is the big news of the week, and we're probably going to spend the most time just because of the implications of it.
Yeah.
The Grammys making 9 changes to the awards. A lot are impacting the hip hop categories, rap categories. A lot to impact the Latin categories. And some changes to Best New Artist as well.
I think the one that people are most interested in, that's been getting the most discussion, is the second to the second one is when they discuss it, is the urban contemporary album to progressive R&B album switch, and that's the one I think that's been getting the most. I think that's been getting the most discussion in terms of what is urban. What does that even mean? Does that just mean black? What does that even mean? So I don't know. Like, if you want to go to that tweet that girl had that made me think about, it's kind of had me thinking. This woman she's actually a songwriter. She's a 2-time Grammy winner. So
you say her name? She's worked with Ariana Grande, and I know her.
I don't know her name.
Nija.
Yeah, Nija. I don't know. Exactly, but she said obviously eliminating the word urban is not the issue. The real problem is separating it into white and black people, which I actually agree with.
I completely agree with, and that's really that's what Tyler the Creator was saying, right? That was his main point.
Exactly. So yeah, but the name urban contemporary isn't great because like when people say urban, that's like code language, you're just saying black. But like the fact that it's just separated, even though it's progressive R&B, it's still going to just be another category that's just for black people. And it's still an issue. So if you're gonna name it that, put black people in other categories too.
Yeah. And for those who don't know, there are 9 changes. But the ones we'll at least talk about now, because I think they are gonna have direct impacts on the awards released next year. So for Best New Artist, there was a requirement before that you had to have released no more than 30 tracks before the start of the eligibility period to qualify. And I didn't think about this until I read this article, but apparently one of the implications of that, when you think about it, a lot of younger rappers, when they're putting out this maybe EPs or mixtapes, it's one single project may have like 20 tracks on it. That's very common in rap. That's not uncommon at all, especially when you're just starting out, just trying to churn out songs.
Well, I do have a question though, since we see a lot of artists, especially starting up in terms of rap artists, not even rap artists, but artists in general. A lot of these projects are just putting out for free or SoundCloud or things like that. So are we going to start seeing, does this mean shorter projects? Hopefully, fingers crossed, shorter projects. Does this mean more does this mean more EPs?
Well, no, I don't think it, because I don't know if it means shorter projects, because now, if anything, I think you have the freedom of not having to worry about how many songs you're releasing. You can be a new artist and have released in the past 3 mixtapes with more than 15 songs in each and still know you can qualify.
But it says no more than 30 tracks.
So no, they're removing that restriction. So
they're removing?
Yeah, before they had a cap. Yeah.
Okay. I took it opposite. Okay.
Will this really be beneficial to promote? I mean, to me, this category, the goal should be to promote younger, newer artists, right?
Yeah.
But if someone's been out for a while, but they, just recently got pretty popular, Is this really a beneficial thing for younger artists?
Yeah, I don't know, because it seems like for the last couple of years, I remember a couple of years, SZA, when the same year that Control came out, she was up for Best New Artist, but she was out like 3-4 years and then prior to that, but she just got popular. Like,
it's really mainstream breakout. I think that they're basing it on
exactly. So like SZA's name was buzzing for a minute, like for people that knew about her, but Control is the album that made her pop, and that's why she's considered Best New Artist.
And I feel like the larger issue, if anything, is the mixtape thing, because a lot of, just being from Atlanta, a lot of younger rappers when they're starting out put out mixtapes constantly.
Well, mixtape is specifically for rappers. I don't think you hear.
Yeah, it's very much so specific to hip hop and rap. And I've often, for a long time, said that I've never felt like I've seen enough hip hop rap representation in the new artist category, especially considering the amount of new hip hop artists that just pop out every single year. And I think that this could easily have been the reason why, because it would not surprise me if some of the people who should qualify had 3 mixtapes that have been out previously, and boom, they hit the 30-song cap, don't qualify.
Exactly. I agree. So that's an interesting thing. Some of these other changes, I guess, if you want to go down a little bit, I think these are the ones that are still interesting, but melodic rap performance, that's another one we discussed earlier about how that's going to be the mumble rap category.
Yeah. Well, no, did we talk about progressive R&B?
No, I think we just mentioned how it just like, they changed urban contemporary to progressive R&B, and the fact that it's cool that they changed the name, but it doesn't really solve the problem because it's still separating black and white.
I just think, one thing I want to say about that, the reason I think, interesting to say, is literally the name progressive R&B implies that it's more so moving the genre forward. Yeah. And I guess their definition of that is, includes sampling elements of hip hop, rap, dance, electronic music. It may also incorporate production of pop, Europop, country, rock, folk, alternative. So to me, that just feels super broad. It feels like it's broadening it out.
It was already broad though, wasn't it? Like, to define it, is this how they defined urban contemporary before? Was saying, oh, it's a progressive R&B.
That's what it feels like.
I think that was the goal.
They just changed. Honestly, I feel like they just changed the name. I don't feel like it actually changed anything of what
was Igor progressive R&B?
No, it's not.
I think Igor definitely would have been nominated in progressive R&B.
Yeah, it would have been nominated, but I don't see that as progressive R&B.
Well, I can see it because Igor is kind of moving it forward. Like, if I had to classify Igor to the best of my ability in any genre, before I call it pop, I think I'd call it progressive R&B.
I don't know.
I think at its core, it's R&B. This is different. It's very different.
I think they need to be more. They need to be less broad because nobody knows what the heck this is, and nobody ever knew what urban contemporary is. And the fact that they just said all these different things, like with pop and country, like hip hop, rap, dance, electronic, that's still confusing.
Yeah. I could see Lizzo winning this award. I think Lizzo did win urban contemporary last year. Yeah. So,
but Lizzo is pop. Lizzo is pop.
Hold on. No, let me ask you this: did you listen to Lizzo's album?
Yes.
The whole thing?
Yes.
Lizzo to me would have been. I like progressive R&B because if I'm putting Lizzo in a category, I think I'd put her in progressive R&B because some of those songs, the singles to me were the most pop you really got on the album. Like, some of those songs were more R&B, so I understood why it was nominated for Soul at some award shows. Because some of those songs, the tracks that didn't get as much attention, were kind of R&B soulish,
I don't know, but why when Justin Bieber puts out an R&B album, why? And even though Justin Bieber's an R&B artist, he sings with R&B. He's actually said, but why does it go in pop?
That's for the Grammys to answer when we get to these nominations.
Justin Bieber, his popular songs are, his most popular songs are pop. But if you listen to Justin Bieber's album like that last time it was good.
Well, I guess let's see where his album this year. I'm sure it's probably going to get nominated.
When Nick Jonas releases the album, or Sam Smith releases the album with the gospel choir in the back, that's going up for pop, not no R&B or.
I think that's going to change. I think we're going to see that in progressive R&B this year.
I hope, but
is this still for lack of a better words, is still the black category? Like, is The Weeknd getting nominated in this category along with Justin Bieber next year?
And for urban contemporary, I remember one of us mentioned, I wonder if a white person ever won this, and I think I said, maybe Eminem. I Googled that. That's not, it's been black. It was founded, I think, in 2012. And it's been black artists consistently that have won it. I think The Weeknd's won it twice. Beyonce's won it, so there you go. That's what the audience is like. So this one we did talk about, and I said I do think it's for the mumble rappers, and I'm maintaining that they changed best rap sung performance to best melodic rap performance. And I think this period, when you hear melodic rap, who comes to mind? For me, I think of my Young Thugs, think of my futures. I think the people who really kind of, the lyricism may not be the focus, but they're melodic. That's why you like it, right? You like the sound of the music.
I think of my Juice WRLD. I think of my Lil Uzis.
Yeah.
I think of Travis Scott.
Exactly. And I feel for a long time, artists in that category have been shunned, for at least their full projects getting nominated. People who may be called more so mumble rappers who may value the melody production more than the actual lyric. And I think this is for them. I think this is to give them a little bit more representation. And I imagine when we see the top 5, you're going to see a younger crowd.
Yeah.
If you end up seeing the nominations, that is, you're going to see a younger crowd.
Now this change I actually like, because it does put, the rap albums, and I do like this change. I do like this change, actually.
It literally says the goal is to have containing elements of rap and melody over modern production.
I do like the idea. I don't know if this works. I do like the idea of putting rap in, they have subgenres of rap. I like the idea of having categories for rap. I like that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah. So.
And then the last one we're going to talk about, and I don't even think we talked about this off mic before this, but the Latin, what they're doing to the Latin categories. So basically, prior to this, the category was Latin rock, urban, or alternative album, and a lot of people were mad at that because they thought you're lumping so many different albums together. Just thinking about rock, urban, that encompasses reggaeton music, which just an alternative, it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So what they did is they took urban and didn't get rid of it like they've done for the hip hop rap categories. They just moved it to pop. So now I guess you're gonna have best rock or alternative, then you're gonna have best pop or urban. And I read an article, and basically it was saying that doesn't fix things because you're still lumping together albums that have nothing to do together. Imagine if we lumped together pop and hip hop, you had Billie Eilish going up against a Drake, this wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's essentially what's going on now with these new categories. And apparently one of the reasons why is potentially that there's not enough Latin urban submissions for the categories. I believe the Grammys requires at least 40.
Yeah.
And I guess the person who was quoted said, "Well, basically, need to figure out why people aren't submitting the work, because I will tell you now, there's more than 40 people who should qualify for it, who would be eligible." So I think that's interesting. They're kind of fixing the problem by making a new problem that has the same complaints attached to it.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I didn't necessarily have any thoughts on this, actually, because when you're watching the Grammys, there's certain categories are actually really interesting. For me personally, I'm not gonna say it doesn't matter. It's not important. I do think it's important because although the problems might be different for like Black people and people who are of Latin descent and whatnot, I do think this is a good thing, though. I mean, I don't think everything's solved yet, but I do think these are good things, though.
See, to me, like couple of my favorite artists are Rosalia and Bad Bunny, and so the idea that Rosalia makes a lot of I don't even know how to describe her music. I guess it could be she won for rock, urban, or alternative, but it's kind of like contemporary classical music, if that makes sense.
Avery,
I have no idea to describe it.
Is Rosalia the girl who had the track with Travis Scott who was rapping?
Yeah, you need to put go listen to Rosalia because she's had some hits. She also had a song with James Blake that's one of my favorite James Blake songs.
Barefoot in the Park.
Yeah, you need to go put a little bit more.
I've actually seen her. I've heard some songs. I'm not saying I listened to her a lot, but I've heard, and I just didn't recognize her name, but I've recognized her. I've seen her before. So.
Yeah.
So the idea of Bad Bunny and Rosalia competing for each other in the same category under urban and pop.
Yeah, it isn't. And Becky G's in there too. It just doesn't seem like it makes sense.
No sense.
None.
They're two completely different types of music. So.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
So I guess in some other news, let's not forget that the Grammy outed its last president, who was, I believe, the first female president. Her last name was Dugan, that's all I remember. She has a lawsuit with them now, accusing them of lacking transparency at the top, and a whole bunch of other things. So they have some other rules to tighten that up, where now they're going to require people to, as far as conflict of interest, to disclose who they know, and I guess, be more accountable for it, because I'm assuming that's something that they should have been doing in the past. But they say here, previously they had to disclose conflicts and leave the room and not vote in respective categories. Now they just can't participate on those committees, period. Which I would have hoped is the thing. That's, of course, you're going to have conflict of interest then. And then with that, they're also trying to have more turnover on nomination committees. So I believe now it used to be every 5 years, and now it's going to be 3 years if you go down to number 6. It's going to be every 3 years now that it requires some kind of a turnover. So hopefully we'll see a difference in the Grammys. The goal of all these changes are to make nominations more diverse, because Grammy So White has been a thing. And so hopefully it works, and we will follow up in December to see.
Yeah, if they have it. So I guess we can touch on that a little bit. I don't know if that's like a real discussion, but whether the
Corona.
Yeah, because Corona is still.
They'll have it. I think they'll have it.
If you want to go to that story, Avery, about the Grammys preview, I don't necessarily think this is like a. I feel like every big company or somebody who's having a big event who's like a while from now, they're saying it's gonna happen. Like the NFL said, we're definitely having a season 3 months ago, and now we still don't know if it's gonna be an NFL season with fans in it. Like they said, we're gonna have a season with 30 fans, with all the fans. So I mean, this is cool for them to say that and what it could look like, but I think it still happen. I think there could be a socially distanced Grammy award show with less people, with a lot less people, with just like the main people, like, or maybe just the bottom row or something like that. But
they have a lot of time in between now and when the Grammys are to figure something out. Especially because hopefully our situation will be better.
Hopefully.
And my thing is, the Grammys is important to too many people and is considered, value and a form of currency to too many important stakeholders at the top, your labels, your management companies, your artists themselves. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of what is it going to look like. And I think you may have a situation where you don't have an audience. I think that's incredibly likely. Yeah. I hope they don't do a Zoom ceremony, but I do think you're going to see, at the very least, it's a socially distanced ceremony.
I don't think there's going to be live bands. I think there's still going to be performances, but I don't think there's going to be a live band. There's going to be the celebrities there, and they're going to be socially distant between like 2 and 3 chairs between them. That's what I see. Not
the award ceremonies that you should be worried about, I think, are the smaller ones. The ones that people not everyone necessarily shows up for, like, the circuit leading up to the Grammys, right? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, because that's what I was going to say. Around right now, and I don't know if you just skipped it, but you would have had like the AMAs, American Music Awards. You would have had the People's Choice Award. You would have the Teen Choice. I think the Teen Choice Award would have been in the summer. So a lot of these smaller awards, even the VMAs, it's normally in August.
Yeah.
Who knows what that's going to look like? If anything, that's going to be a great blueprint for what the Grammys is going to be. Let's see what happens with the VMAs.
Yeah. So
I think the Nick Teen whatever Choice Awards just did theirs over. Like Zoom or online.
And honestly, if you're gonna do that, just keep it and release the list.
Corona is still affecting it.
Release the list of nominees. I'm not watching a Zoom Grammy ceremony. I can't.
Because you don't even get to see any performances or anything.
And then it's like, even if there's a performance and you just have someone performing in the room, it's like, how does that turn it off?
Yeah. I know. Grammys performances are so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
I agree. I think it happened, but we just
gotta you guys, honestly, this is gonna be a good segue. Are there any albums that you feel right now are going to be nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys? Do you think that album has been put out yet, realistically?
Weekend.
I think that's going to be nominated. Yeah,
for sure.
Maybe Run the Jewels, just because of like what it's talking about. I think it could.
I always want to hope, but with the Grammy, there may be these changes, so maybe. But the Grammys,
the Grammys, they will always, especially in the rap category, they will have like the most popular. But then they'll always do like one that's really critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
Like I remember a couple years ago, Schoolboy had it. Pusha T was in it a couple years ago.
Wait, were they both for Album of the Year?
No, rap album. I'm saying like.
Okay, yeah.
I'm saying
rap. Oh no, for a rap album, definitely. All right.
For Album of the Year, it would be dope, but I don't see it.
And I think there's another album that isn't from the biggest artist that will be nominated, but I'm not going to say it because he's in my top 5, and we're not going to touch on it. But segue. See how I did that? You see how I did that?
Yeah. Go
We're
ahead.
about halfway through the year at this point. A lot of albums have come out. We've been stuck inside, been listening to a lot of music. I thought it would be a really fun idea if we counted down our top 5 albums of the year so far.
And we're literally at the half point, so it makes sense to do it now.
We're basically at the half point, and surprisingly, I'm not going to say surprising, but it's been a good year. It's been a solid year for music so far. It's been a solid year. It's been different. The projects coming out, it's been different. I don't know what it feels like, but it feels like with the quarantining, I feel like it's been shorter albums. You know me, I like short albums. I
love a good, nice less than 40-minute album.
30-minute album. I love it. So I'm glad we're doing this. So
we've seen some interesting songs come out of people being stuck at home. We've seen some interesting tracks.
A lot of quarantine lines.
A lot of quarantine bars.
A lot of Corona bars. A lot of Corona bars. A lot of stuck at home bars.
But you guys, what do you think has been, and let me preface this by saying, I feel like we should give people the breakdown of what our genre taste look like, because we actually have this fight among ourselves. So Noah is your rap guy, right? Rap R&B. Like, he listens to it, he loves it.
Yeah.
I'm, I guess in the middle. I'm your rap R&B primarily, but I also love me a good pop song. I'll dabble into rock, alternative. I like alternative a lot.
Yeah.
Rarely there'll be a country song I like, so I think I'm pretty, variety.
Yeah.
Avery is the avatar when it comes to gender. I said genders, genres.
Genre.
Excuse me.
Genders.
The avatar when it
You know
comes to
what he
genres.
meant. You know what he meant.
Y'all know what I meant. Because he listens to everything. He listens to rock, he listens to rap, he listens to pop, and that's why we're like a spectrum where like it's Avery with everything, Noah with just R&B rap, and I'm in the middle because I kind of dabble in
Yeah, in both.
I think we have a nice, diverse group of perspectives here to give you guys a good taste of what's good that has come out this year.
So before we get started, we start listing our top 5. What was y'all breakdown? Like, how'd y'all decide what was going to be your top 5? What was your thought process of doing that? Exactly.
For me, it was just like, what have I just listened to a lot? And it wasn't necessarily critical acclaim, even though I don't think any of the albums I did have
are bad,
like rated badly.
Yeah.
But definitely just like, what did I enjoy the most? What did I listen to the most? Who did I?
Exactly.
In my honorable mentions, I have like my favorite quarantine find of like favorite artists I found.
Yeah. What about you, Nnamdi?
I'm the same way. I feel like favorability is always should always be number one, right? Like, because I don't think, why would you ever base an album off purely off of like commercial, what it did with the charts or what it did, with reviews. Now, I will say, I don't know if this is a causation or correlation. All of my picks have done pretty well in both commercially and critically, but I don't think that's what I do it for. So first, I would say favorability, but I think within that, what I look for an album I like, of course, is like good bars and like good writing and a good beat. So
yeah, but that's obvious things you like when you like an album. But yeah, I agree. The albums I just been listening to the most. I did do a couple listens through my list, and and I did it, and I admit there was some switches because sometimes I'm listening to an album, and there was one that moved up because when I listened to it again for like one final time, it gave me a feeling. Like I just this gotta go up. You know what I'm saying? And I also based off like how often am I thinking about like all these lines, like a song stuck in my head or something like that. I gotta listen to this album.
Y'all, we should all post our top 5 at the end of this, and I want to see who people think has the best top 5. That's the competitive in me coming out.
Exactly. This guy over here wants to.
But we should get into it. We've been talking about this for a minute. We should hop in. So who's first?
Do we want to give our little honorable mentions first? List your honorable mentions.
Okay. I'll go first. So some honorable mentions. We doing? I'll just say a couple. So you know what I'm saying.
Maybe two. Breathe.
Two. Okay. So, Knowledge 1988. This is purely an instrumental album. I already have Knowledge on my list. Spoiler, but this one's purely an instrumental album. It's a great album for like I've been listening to a lot because I've been working. I like to listen to music, but I can't listen to music with lyrics while I'm working. So it's a good chill, go to sleep, focus on my work, type thing. So, and Boldy James, another thing with Alchemist. So, yeah, Alchemist has been killing this year. So yeah, those are two honorable mentions. He's been everywhere. Yeah.
Nam, what are your two honorable mentions?
So my two honorable mentions froze for the same reason. They both came out and I've been able to sit with them long enough to say they're in my top 5. Yeah. But I did enjoy both of them, relatively. My first literally came out, at least from recording this, like a couple days ago. And it's Chloe and, is it Hallie or Haley?
Hallie,
right?
Hallie. Come on.
Chloe and Hallie. I know that's sick. That's sick. I know. I need to do better. But Chloe and Hallie, because their album, Ungodly Hour, it was a really good album. And it's, like I just said, I love a short album just because I can play it a lot and I love to listen to an album full through.
It's good.
It's a really good album. And I love it when I can see growth from, an artist from project to project. And I think I listened to the first album, The Kids Will Be All Right. And A to B, really, this development. And then my second one is also music. It is. It's definitely grown-up music.
Yeah.
And my second one, I always try to show versatility in what I've been listening to, and this has been difficult because I wanted it to be pop. I didn't know which pop album I wanted it to be, but I'm actually gonna say Chromatica by Lady Gaga, a surprise pick. And I'm saying that primarily because I could see it, but we just had our Grammys discussion, being an album the Grammys like. I feel like a lot of people listen to Lady Gaga for nostalgia. Well, I don't want to say that, but for 2010, 2011, the glory days of music, she was like kind of at the top of pop. So I listened to it always for nostalgia, and I felt the nostalgia in the album. Yeah. It's very, very poppy. So I don't know how often I'll go to it, but for what it was, I thought it was very well done, and that's why that I'm gonna give that my second honorable mention.
Avery.
My first one is Mac Miller's album.
RP.
And it's purely an honorable mention because it's just like so sad. I've only listened to it a couple times, but it's stuck with me. So I just thought it would be a pretty worthy honorable mention. It's a very good album.
Very good album.
But not something that's like super re-listenable. The second one is my favorite quarantine find I want to shout out to Drake for putting us all on the Gibby on.
Oh my God!
No.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Like, this is my Dark Lane demo tape. Stop
I
it.
was like, whoa!
I don't want to spoil Noah's favorite album of the year, but no, Gibby on. Drake introduced the world to Gibby on.
Yeah, he did.
And thank God he did it.
And yeah,
good.
for real, it is fantastic.
Yeah.
I listened to like World Recreated, and I'm like, this is someone's.
I haven't listened to him though. I haven't listened to it, but
I mean, considering Chicago Freestyle is arguably the best song on Dark Lane demo tape.
It's not really an argument, but it's not a big argument. But yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
okay, wait.
So
so I'm eager now. All right, let's get into these top fives. So we don't know each other's top fives. Worth saying.
Yeah. So Avery, you want to go first, Avery? Go first,
do
Avery.
the honors.
Go first, Avery.
Number 5.
Number 5.
I
I
know
don't
it.
think this should be
I
a surprise for anybody.
No,
Well, they
I
don't
think
know
you guys
Avery's
mostly
taste.
guessed my list yesterday.
Yeah.
But yeah, my number 5 is the 1975 Notes on a Conditional Form. It's a really long album. I think it's like 22 songs long. So I've listened to it actually a couple of times through, but there are some like really fantastic songs on there, like Jesus Christ 2005, God Bless America, and The Guys is like one of my top 3 songs that came out this year. So I think it's just a really fun album. There's a lot of like really diverse sounds on it, and it's just really cool.
1975 would be considered rock, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then and the way we're doing this is we're going from 5 to 2 each of us.
Yeah.
Wait, Avery, can I ask you a 1975 question?
Sure.
I forgot if we're doing a discussion after. Okay, so if you're talking to someone who hasn't done rock, maybe a rap head, who hasn't done rock before, but they're willing to consider it, what's the song they need to listen to on the album?
On this album, I would just go back to The Guys. It's like such a fun song.
I did like that's the song you
it's
put
about
me
missing
on.
your friends. It's about missing your friends, and I think it's
Hey, in quarantine, what else are you doing?
I miss you guys.
Exactly. So I'm missing your boys and appreciating them, and it's just a really nice.
I miss
song.
you guys.
This next pick, though.
My
This
next
next
pick,
pick,
number 4, Run the Jewels, RTJ4. I don't know like what we haven't said about this album that we haven't sung its praises. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
It's
if you
funny.
wanna see our thoughts, go watch the review in the last episode.
We got it in the bio. Link in the bio. Go ahead and put that link down there.
Exactly.
But past the lyrics of what's going on, it's just a fun album to listen to. Like every track is at like an 11 in terms of energy, and it's just a fun album to listen to.
Agreed.
Number 3, this is one that I don't think you guys.
Oh,
No, I know that.
that's a dope album cover, but I don't know.
Can you say the
it's like
name
one of
though?
my favorite
Because I'm
albums.
always confused and I see their name. I don't know how to say it, but I think I do, but
Yeah.
I don't.
I don't want to curse on this show, but the album, the name of the band is Starfucker.
Okay.
Yeah. And the name of the album is Future Past Life. They're like an indie rock group.
Okay.
They're really good. So I went to go see their show and I got kicked in the face. That was that day, if you guys remember that.
Yeah, okay.
I mean this in like the best way possible for this album. That it is just like great background music. Like you can just put it on while you're doing anything, and it's just like really just like a vibe. It's nice.
That makes it
It's
sound like the
really chill.
musicality. That makes it sound like the musicality is great.
Yeah, like it's just a really easy listen. It's just super chill. I think anyone can enjoy this, honestly. Even you know it. I don't know. You might like it.
Oh.
If you want to give it a shot. If you want to give it a chance.
I'll give it a shot.
Enjoy it.
I'm gonna listen to
I'll
it.
give it a
It's
shot.
my list.
I'll give it a
Enjoy
shot.
it. Just like if you're doing work or something, like it's super
I'll
mellow. You can just kind of throw it on.
I'll give it a shot. All
Right, good. All right, my number 2 is The
Woo!
Weeknd.
Ooh.
After
I
Hours.
like you the deluxe cover. That cover is
Yeah.
fire. That cover is
It's so
fire.
cool. It's so cool. I don't think there's a bad song on this album. I could
Not a
listen to
single
it all
one.
the way through every time.
God. This album is fire.
I think it's his best album he's come out with.
No,
I
you
don't
like
know if
this
that's-
album?
Well, yes, I like. Where's this idea that I didn't like the dang Weekend?
I don't know why. I was like, this is not like a no album.
Where's that? Okay, first of all, where's the narrative? I don't like the Weekend. Where'd this come from?
What's your favorite song on it, Noah?
Come back to me. Come back to me.
Need look.
I haven't listened. I'm not gonna lie. I do like that. I haven't listened to it in a minute though. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I put you on the spot. My bad. Avery, go on. I'm interrupting.
I just like love it. I think it's his best album that he's come out with.
Woo!
I know it's a hot take. I know there's some hardcore Weeknd fans out there who love Trilogy and all that.
Yeah,
but
there's some people who go to war.
House of Balloons, man. House of Balloons. House of Balloons.
Yeah, you're right.
I know. I think I caught on to The Weeknd a little late. So
Yeah,
to me, this is my favorite one.
that's dope.
So yeah, it's just super like, I think it's pretty personal. I think it's pretty dark all the way through.
Good lyrics.
There's some pretty like sad stuff on this album.
Yeah.
Good lyrics
that
though.
I'm still willing to keep listening to it months after it came out, I think speaks pretty highly of it. It came back
Good
out back
lyrics,
in
though.
March. So.
I like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And your number one is
No,
we're gonna
wait.
find out later.
No,
See, I know
wait.
you gotta make a way
So
for it.
let me go first. Let me get some switch up. Let me get a turn all the way to me. So we can go to me now. We can go to me
Okay.
now.
All right.
Go to
Say the
me.
best for last. I'm mad at it.
Exactly. We can go all the way to me now. Now I already mentioned Knowledge already on my honorable mention, but this is Knowledge, Meek Volume 5. It's basically just all these random Meek Mill. I'm not even a Meek Mill fan, but it's these random Meek Mill freestyles with these jazzy beats in the background, nothing he would ever rap over in his life. This has been, not even because this album is like incredible or like amazing, it's great background music, it's chill, the beats are dope, it's really jazzy, it's lo-fi. Knowledge is the Unknown, he has a project with Anderson .Paak, so just a really solid listen. Not even a Meek Mill fan, but it's a good project if you want to chill, listen. While you're
This
doing
is a
something.
really cool album cover too.
Dope album cover. It's a dope album.
With all the different languages on the corners.
Exactly. It's
so
so cool. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Go down to 4. Run the Jewels.
No surprise. At 4 though? Wait, Avery, for you it was what, 3?
Oh, it was 4. It was 4
4.
too.
Oh, it's 4 for both of y'all. Okay.
Now, I'm not gonna say the only reason, but one of the reasons it's lower is because it came out it's a pretty new release. It's still a new release.
Yeah, you gotta let it digest. I
It's
feel
still a
that.
new release. Now, I did have this album higher, but something knocked it down. But Avery kind of explained all that already. So, Run the Jewels, RTJ 4. So,
Wait, what knocked it down?
we'll see. Go there.
Okay,
Go to number three. Now I'm gonna get into my underground bag. Dumb Life.
Get into the bag.
This is the God for him. He's from Atlanta. This is like his little crew, it seems like, but it's not even like super crazy. What's up with all these album covers having the weird, languages too? For language, that's interesting.
I like it though. I like the aesthetic.
I like it though.
I don't know what it is, but I like
it's
it.
Like, it's just a dope. It's basically just a dope crew album, dope lyrics, dope rapping. The dude's from Atlanta, the main guy that I really enjoyed, the guy from. So
You
dope
mentioned
album.
the God Fahim on one of our like test shows, right?
Yes, I did. So he's from
Your
Atlanta.
project of the week.
Exactly. So yeah, the God Fahim. Number 2. Now this is what bumped it down. This is just a shark. This is actually the album cover, guys. This is actually the album cover. Conway the Machine and the Alchemist.
Ooh.
First of all, Alchemist has been the best rap producer for the hottest producer in rap for like last 2 years, at least. But Conway the Machine, if y'all don't know, he's part of Griselda. Griselda is signed to Shady Records.
Griselda's a great group, by the way. New York
They're a great little collective, but this is Conway. Now, this is the one that bumped it down, because when I listened to it last night, I was listening to these dang tracks. This is the hardest album I've heard this year. Bro, I'm sorry, bro.
Wow.
No, it was great. It's a great album, and it's 20 minutes? It's short.
Bro, it's short. It's 7 tracks.
You can listen to
Bro, it's the hardest, the production, and the whole thing, like, especially Conway, he always has, like, projects that are based off, like, shows or movies. So, like, he has an album that's, like, The Wire, scenes from The Wire in the background. This has, like, paid in full scenes in the back, which is why it's called Lulu. Mentioned it in the movie. But 7 tracks, basically 6 of the worst ones just been talking. But yeah. Ooh.
What's the song to listen to?
Song to listen to. I will give y'all this. Song to listen to, I would say, is the last track, Gold BBS's. I don't know how to say it, but he has a song with Schoolboy Q on there too. So yeah.
Okay.
I've been meaning to check this out since I heard him on the Freddie Gibbs album.
Yes,
Who's this guy?
he's really good. If you see his face, he's actually a pretty scary guy because he got shot in the face and his face is all messed up. But dope album. Number one's different, but we'll get to that.
And now the moment you've been waiting for. The real top 5.
I want to make you feel good, but whoa!
I know, right?
Whoa!
Okay. I know.
Whoa!
I knew we were gonna be shocked. Number 5 for me, What Am I Gonna? Let me tell you why. Because listen, I'll calm myself out. I didn't give this album a fair chance when it came out. I didn't. I wrote it off as being like, oh, this is for them new kids. I'm grown for it.
Yeah.
It's my little brother. I'm gonna shout him out. We work out together, and he plays the song we're working out. And I found myself every single song that came out. I'm like, yo, what song is this? What song is this? And it was all Wanna. So I start listening to it, and it suddenly clicks. It makes sense, y'all. This is one of the best. it's just it's not okay. It's not your lyricism album. It's not your bar for bar album. But it is absolutely you can press shuffle and any song that comes on, you're going to enjoy. It's going to be a banger. My two favorite songs, personally, Addie's Argentina Skybox for my top 3. But it's I like it for the fact that, with everything that's been going on, it's been very heavy. And I think sometimes the purpose of music is to provide escape. And it does that. When I go to the gym and just put this on, it's a great album. It's a great shuffle album. And I hope that gets recognized. And that's why that's my number 5. I hope it gets a best melodic rap nomination. When we keep it pushing.
Number 4.
I know, one of them popped up while I was listening to, just like in the car the other day, like I left it on. I was listening to the Drake album and then like I went to one of these songs.
Yeah. And this was an honorable mention, so I listened to this yesterday when I worked out and then took a shower and I was like, okay, I gotta put this
pump it up.
Gotcha. All right, so number 4. I don't remember. Oh, y'all. Okay.
Oh, this been on that JoJo.
Y'all know. Listen, and here's my thing, y'all. So I've been on like an R&B grind, just generally speaking, this year. Period. This album, this JoJo album,
underrated
is
album.
One of the most underrated. And she's independent now, so at least I'm happier that she's making more money, even though it's underrated. But albums that has been out this year. Period. It is such a great album. Like, yo, it's so, I just can't, it's short too. It's like, I think it's like 30, 35 minutes. It's only like, I think
10, 11 tracks.
10, 11 tracks. I'm gonna find out for you right now. But y'all, it's like, I don't think there's any skips. And when I first heard it, I enjoyed it. I put this over the other R&B releases that came out this year, because I haven't good R&B releases, but I picked this one because I found that when this came out, I listened to it a lot. It came out in 9 songs, 29 minutes. So quick listen. Very good album. Fully recommend.
Okay.
Shout out JoJo. Been in the game since 2000. Been holding it down since 2004. With respect to her name.
Yeah, she's been out for a minute.
Wow.
Okay, so my number 3 is, I don't remember. I think it's
wow.
Okay, so let's talk about it, because Noah made a bold statement, and you said your album was the most hardest. You said your album was the hardest rap album. Written Testimony, J Electronica, the absolute best rap album that has come out this year, and I will hold that and I'll maintain that. Bar for bar, no competition. Production, no competition. And I will say this, my only thing. I don't know why they didn't just call it a collaboration album. I feel like that may be higher above my pay grade for me not understanding. But Jay-Z was on like damn near every single one of these songs, and he did a good job. Like he was good though. It was Jay-Z going hard bar for bar. And I'm not gonna say what my hot take is. I like Jay-Z on this one. I did a couple of them songs on 444. We don't talk about it. We don't got to talk about it. But this is a great album. They sampled Higher for one of my personal favorite songs, Flex Capacitator, I think what it's called. They sampled Higher for it by Rihanna, and it's absolutely one of my favorite beats this year in general. I wish I knew who the producer was so I could shout him out.
Noah looks disgusted.
Noah, yeah, I'm kind of shocked you're looking like this, Noah.
Let me say this on J Electronica.
Okay.
Now, J Electronica is one of the biggest trolls in rap history. Let me do my explanation. J Electronica was one of the most. First of all, he's been out for a while, a long time.
He's been out for a very long time, yeah. And this, I think, is his official debut.
Before this, he had a mixtape, and he had some tracks which were really hyped. He had Exhibit A and Exhibit C, amazing tracks, amazing lyricists, and basically the biggest joke and troll of hip hop within the last decade and a half is J Electronica is coming out with an album this year. And when he said, "I'm coming out with an album," of course nobody believed him. And when I turned on this album to listen for the first time, I found that Jay-Z was on every single track. And he outdid.
Why are you mad at that?
Wait. And I found that Jay-Z outdid J Electronica on almost every single track. Okay. And this was basically a Jay-Z album. And J Electronica let me down immensely because this album had the most hype ever. It was super hype, and then, it went on for so long that the hype died down. And then the fact that he gave me this was very disappointing. I wanted more J Electronica, less Jay-Z, but Jay-Z was the best part about the damn album.
And my thing is that shouldn't be a discount.
That's a discount. It's a discount for your debut album. You do not want to other artists.
So look, because I don't disagree with you. I agree and disagree at the same time. I agree that for his debut project, Jay-Z's not featured on any of these songs, and that's important. He's not featured, so you don't know going into the song that Jay-Z's about to give you a 16, just pop on and do his thing. But every single time I heard it, it was a welcome addition. And that's why I don't discount it. I think Jay Electronica held his own. I think he rapped very well.
I want to speak on it. That's all I got to say. But
and I think, hold on, I think this is my theory. I think whenever an artist isn't featured, they're not listed as being featured officially, it's because their purpose is to be more of a production element than an actual like standalone feature. I get that can't really be applied for Jay-Z because he's still Jay-Z and we all recognize his voice and listen to everything he said.
I think
for what it was, Jay-Z did an amazing job rapping and went hard every bar. I think Jay Electronica did, and I think the production on every single song.
Let me tell you how I feel about this album. I listened to this album when it came out. I had listened to a couple of, it's not bad. I'm not gonna say it's trash, but I just recently a couple of days ago deleted this album from my library because I am not gonna listen to this album ever again, probably. So. And
to everyone listening, because no one wants to do that, I'm gonna let him do it. Because I'm gonna boldly disagree and say boldly, this is a fantastic album. And if you like Jay-Z, you like Jay Electronica, if you like good production in general, listen to it. The song I'm gonna say to listen to get into it, because I recommend it. Flux Capacitator.
That's a good song.
Great song. And then that's like Ghost of Soulja Slim.
Yeah.
And The Blinding. That's your favorite songs. So Blinding featuring Travis Scott.
Let's see number 2.
So my number 2 shouldn't be a surprise because we all had it on our RCJ, and I'm shocked y'all put it at 4 because this to me, yes, there are some projects when I listen to it and I love it. I acknowledge I need to have more time at this for me to really see how it ranks up to my other albums. But this I just knew immediately the first time I heard it. RTJ, I had very high expectations because RTJ 3 and 2 were very good. This had very high expectations going into it, and they fulfilled it. They made a very great album that felt current and timely, even though they wrote some of it a year ago. The production was great, bars were great. LP and Killer Mike were both going crazy on every single one of these bars. And to me,
we've kind of all said this amazing things about this album. It's in everybody's top 5, which is actually dope to see.
Yeah, but y'all had it at 4, and that's kind of crazy to me. No, how much you put above it? I'm shocked.
I don't think it's because these other albums are necessarily better. It's just I haven't been able to sit with it long enough. It's pretty new still.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm very upset at your opinion on written testimony.
This will honestly probably be in my top 5 at the end of the year.
Same here, but no, I'm mad at you for written testimony. We're gonna come back to that later. I'm mad at you for your take. So that is a great album.
We'll get about it later, but let's
you're right.
Let's get the big reveals out. Let's get the big reveals out.
Our number 1. So
reveals out.
Avery, Nam, you want to go first?
No, Avery.
Avery got to do it in order.
Let's go back. Run it back. Now. Give some thoughts before, some prequel for the.
Should we take a guess for each other?
So a few weeks ago, on one of our test pods, I brought up the idea of quarantine and how it's going to affect music going forward. Little did I know that there was an artist making an album in her quarantine that is like the best thing that she might have come out with. And I know she has a very critically acclaimed album before this. But this album is purely about being at home. It's about being stuck at home. It's about the things you miss while you're being stuck at home. The fact that she made it while she was stuck at home is incredible. So yeah, and I think that I did not know that all my questions about how quarantine would affect music would be answered in one album soon after that.
Okay, let's do it. You got the hype building. Okay.
Like it's literally called How I'm Feeling Now. Every song they're just bangers. They're good. It's so like industrial. It's cool. It's exciting. I think she's one of the most exciting pop stars out right now.
Yeah.
And I hope that people can recognize it.
Is that actually her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Charlie, she kind of, I feel like Charlie XCX blew up with Fancy. For some reason, as a solo artist, her work has been kind of underrated. And I know this isn't the first time she's had a project that a lot of people enjoyed. So I'm not surprised. Thank you. When did it come out?
This came out, probably like a month ago, maybe now.
Yeah, April.
Wow.
It was when we were in like the midst of quarantine.
Yeah, she really did all of that within quarantine. That's like incredibly impressive.
Yeah, like it wasn't started before quarantine. Like it started, like it is, like every song is about being at home and wanting to be outside.
Requires an immense amount of talent.
Fantastic. And so if I'm thinking of like a project that is like a product of our circumstances this year, that is like with the times, that is what is happening right now in the grand scheme of the world, I think this album kind of perfectly sums up what we've been dealing with in terms of the pandemic this year. And it's I think it's really cool. And I think years down the line, I can look back at this album and be like, wow, this is what we were feeling. This is how we were feeling now. Like,
at the time, it takes you back.
Yeah.
That's what album's supposed to do, make you feel a certain way.
Avery, what's the song? Give me a song to listen to, because I haven't listened to this yet, but I'm going to. So where should I start?
Visions, Party for You, Pink Diamond.
So for those of you who want to give pop a chance, who may just listen to rock, this is the album to do it, according to our very own Avery.
Yeah.
I want to put your last name out there like that.
No,
80.
not my Twitter handle. No, are you ready?
Oh, and you can see it in this thing. It's funny.
Okay, so prequel for my album. Wow, I don't know what to say. This album came out in February before all the quarantine, all the feelings of quarantine and pandemic and coronavirus hit us. But this guy has been, I wouldn't say he's underground, not well known, but he's been buzzing in the R&B community for a while. He was featured on a pretty popular summer track, I'd say 2 or 3 years ago with Gold Link Crew. And
okay.
This is one of the project he was releasing. I mean, he was releasing a lot of singles last year. People were hyped. He was like, come out with some music, bro. And man, to me, this is the best R&B album this year. In my opinion, best R&B album out this year. In my opinion, it's short, it's simple.
You ain't listened to JoJo though, so I can't take you seriously.
But best album out here so far for me, Brent Faiyaz with "Fuck the World." This is the best album this year. This man came in with 10 tracks, 27 minutes, no lag whatsoever. Every track is good. This man isn't necessarily the most, jaw-dropping singer. He's not gonna come with you with Daniel Caesar type, vocals or nothing like that. But this dude harmonizes with these dang songs. No features. First of all, none of his projects ever has features. I love that. It's no, hey, he's gonna have a rapper. All pure R&B. This man is vibing out and he is talking that you know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, bro. Every single song. Rehab. Oh my gosh. F the World, Been Away, Bluff and Lost.
Been Away is I love this
album.
I completely agree with you. Like, this is a fantastic album.
Fantastic project. I don't think there's a bad track on here. Honestly, there's not a bad track in here. So I feel like a lot of people already know about this. He's been getting more popular as of recently, but
yeah.
I haven't stopped. When I'm like, I gotta listen to this. I probably listen to this about 4 or 5 times a week. No lie. So yeah. F the World.
I was happy to hear his song in Insecure last week too.
Oh, yeah,
Insecure, the music taste of Insecure. Issa Rae, whoever she has on the music on that show needs a raise per episode.
I feel like validated when I hear a song I know on Insecure. But
okay, so this is good. This is good.
So yeah, Brent Faiyaz.
No, I completely agree with you. This album is so good.
Really
it's
good.
So smooth. It's so
smooth, vibing out. If you smoke, it's all that.
Whoa.
It's legal in Chicago, so hey.
You're right. I can't say that in New Jersey. I can't say that.
Exactly.
Let's sit back down.
So yeah.
Well, if it's me, I feel like this shouldn't be a surprise to those who know me. But anyway, let me tell you about this album. What hasn't been said already. Production, no question. It was an amazingly produced album. I know it felt expensive. It was very high quality, but you can hear that. You can hear the quality of the production, every single song, every single transition. Lyricism, I always give credit to artists who can really kind of be an open book on their songs you won't even notice. You have to, it's not to the second or third listen where you're kind of listening, you're like, yo, he's actually, now I know how you feel about this. It's hard for people to open up, especially celebrities, and I think musicians especially, and I think when you can do it in your music and do it well, and still manage to sell and then find something that a large number of people can relate to and capitalize off of it, I respect it. And I think this album does that. With the writing, I think for the artist specifically, it showcases growth, and I think we just think about their track from album 1 to where they are now, and you see how they got there. I like it because it's not too poppy, because this person has veered into pop before, but it's kind of stayed with R&B and kind of incorporated some other roots, but still for the most part stayed in R&B, very progressive R&B. So without further ado, because you already see the album cover before, even though I have the standard version, not the deluxe version, but I think The Weekend After Hours, it's just absolutely the best album that's come out so far this year. And I say that because it was like the first big one this year. Like, it came out in February. It was the first big one.
Late February. March. No, actually, did it come? I think it came out in March.
It was March.
March.
It came out in March, and I think has still absolutely held its own since. You know, it's just I listened to this album nonstop. Look, Avery got the physical, so you know it's real. We got the physical in 2020.
That's saying something.
But like this album came out and it's just such a great album, you know. And I wouldn't even say if you listen to the singles, I wouldn't even say start there, even though I do think After Hours is a great song. But Faith, I think that the song that really kind of that puts all that I'm saying about this in one is Faith. The production is just mind-bogglingly incredible, and then he reveals a lot about, you know, addiction and kind of sort of some of the trials he's experiencing in you know, in I guess Hollywood or wherever he is, California. Absolutely a great song. Fully recommended. Abel did his thing with this. My number
There's
one.
no
I think
features on this album, right? Not that I can.
Is there no features on this?
I love when R&B artists have no feature, and it's just
I just realized that for some reason.
Yeah.
I think there's this new, because I think for a while, especially in R&B, there was this trend of you gotta have a rapper on there. You gotta have a bunch of rappers on there.
Yeah, because you have to make it marketable, and for R&B to be marketable, you need a rapper or someone.
Yeah, but I mean, The Weeknd, and you know, Brent Faiyaz is, and that's huge, but like he has no features on his project either. I just like this trend of R&B artists just, hey man, we sing. It
takes guts. It takes guts to say like I think I can carry my own.
The thing is, they sing it, but they talking that. Bro, R&B artists they don't play. They sound good, but what they talking about is that pimp. Ooh, I mean, it is dope though. But it's dope though.
But this was such a cool contrast from his last album too, where like Starboy was very poppy. You know, Kendrick Lamar was featured on it, all that, and then now this one like draws from like 80s pop, which is really interesting, and it like kind of fuses that with modern R&B.
Even when he goes pop on this, because it seems like Blinding Lights, I'd say it's probably like what the most poppy song. This and maybe that In Your Eyes. Mm-hmm. Even the pop he does, I think he does incredibly well. And I think he does it in a way that, you know, I could see your rap fan, your R&B fan still listening to Blinding Lights or In Your Eyes. And that's as pop as it gets. But the production is just so creative. And that's why, honestly, y'all, when we start doing albums, we need to start shouting out producers too and know their names too. Because the production on After Hours, on Faith, on some of these songs, Escape from LA, it's incredible. Love it. Great album.
Agree, man. Great album.
Okay, so I want to give us homework because we've been doing that every week. Last week we listened to Polo G. Two of us finally did it. I feel like I'll get like a 70.
I got another question for y'all. You know, look into the second half of the year. I don't know if anybody's announced any new music or anything, but you have any artists that you think might be coming out this next second half?
I'm hoping SZA drops because she's kind of
SZA.
Public.
You know, I'm hoping for my boy Isaiah Rashad. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Is Kendrick coming out this year?
I don't think we're gonna see Kendrick or Cole this year. I really don't. Drake's supposed to come out in the summer, so Drake should be on the way soon.
Drake's annual summer
My most anticipated album of the year comes out next week, which we are reviewing.
Oh, Phoebe Bridges. Yeah. Variant gets a pop. Rock.
Indie rock, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is gonna be different. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna get into
Wait. Yeah,
Wait,
so pumped for this album.
Yo, let me ask you. So on everyone's list, I think we should do this. I think everyone should look at everyone's list and pick one album that they haven't heard that they're willing to listen to. So what would that album be on everyone's chart? I feel like I can do this first. For me, for Avery, I'll listen to the Charlie XCX one because I've listened to that before. And for Noah, I would listen to the who's my Atlanta artist that I haven't given a chance to discussing.
Bro, if you don't listen to Brent Faiyaz,
bro, I've listened to some of the albums that I haven't listened to. I've listened to some of the Brent Faiyaz songs. I'm talking about I haven't listened to Dump What, at least fully in its entirety, front to end.
It's short too.
That's probably what I'm doing.
Now, for me, I have two albums, and I'm sorry, not either. Oh, actually, no, one's from you, from Avery. I haven't listened to JoJo. I'll listen to JoJo. And I'm listening to Star, F word. I'm gonna listen to those two. I'll give them a shot.
All right.
For me, definitely the JoJo album because you've been talking about it for a while.
I'm saying it's such a good album.
I need to I think it's time. It's time. And then for Noah, I've been meaning to get into this Conway album, so I'm definitely gonna get into it now.
Yeah, it's good.
Definitely gonna get into it now for sure.
All right. Yeah. And, tell us what y'all been listening to. What's your two viewers that are watching this? So comment below. Tweet us.
I got you. Yeah, I think I don't know if everybody would agree, but I think our projects of the week has been these top 5 albums because I listened to them trying to get my
Yeah.
my list together, but
oh, Issa Rae came out with the season 4 soundtrack. I've been listening to that.
Listen to that. That's probably some of the songs we have on some of our albums might be on there. I feel like we have some of those type songs, but yeah, next week review on her name Avery.
Phoebe Bridgers.
Phoebe Bridgers.
Phoebe Bridgers.
Phoebe.
This is why we're doing this, because we need to expand our horizons more.
This is going to be an adventure. It's her album Punisher. It's her second solo album, even though she's come out with like 3 albums under 3 different names in the past 2 years. Yeah, I'm so excited. I can't wait. I'm so excited to hear what Noah has to think.
I know.
I almost wanted to delay our top 5 like of the year so far until after this album came out, because I knew it'd be on there. But
so it's
after you listen to it, you can just tell us if you think this bumped your top 5, and what if it did, what did it bump?
Yeah.
Because I think for you, I can see that happening. But for us, it's going to be an interesting experiment. You know, always expand your horizon, listen to new things. I'm excited because I'm always willing to give, indie rock a chance. I tried to give Fiona Apple a chance. I just didn't get it. And that got like a 10 on Pitchfork, and I just didn't get it. But honestly,
this is more palatable than Fiona Apple. It's similar themes actually, because of experiences that they've had as women in the music industry.
Yeah.
But I think this one might be a little more palatable than Touch the Bolt Cutters. So. And
remember, the one album we all had on our top 5, RTJ, we just happened to review last week. So if interested,
watch that.
Give that a watch. But okay, anything else I want to add? I think that just about does it for us.
97 Demo. Subscribe, comment, follow us on Twitter too. Look at our Twitters, follow us on Twitter too.
And tell your friends.
Tell your friends
about us.
Tell a friend.
Put us on.
Yep.
Okay, we're done. Bye. See you next week.
Oh man.
That felt good. Oh, we're still recording.